Hello, welcome to my channel again. If you're new here, my name is Deborah Carr and I write historical fiction in that name. I also write contemporary romance series for Boldwood Books. And today I'm really excited to welcome Christie Barlow. She's a multi-best-selling author all around the world. And you've just finished welcome, Christie, I should say. It's not just time here, is it? You actually were at the studio in real life last weekend, weren't you?
It was amazing to be in your studio last weekend. It's absolutely gorgeous.
It was so fun having you here. I'll actually link to a video of a short that you recorded that I have actually put here below. So I'll add that to my sort of chatty bits at the bottom. So you have just finished a 15-book, incredibly well-selling series, the Love Heart Lane series. That must
I
feel really
have.
strange.
Oh, I'm so sad. Don't I'll cry.
What a
Yeah,
surprise! Because you
uh,
really, I mean, you've really lived that life for a good few years now, haven't you?
yeah, 5 years Love Heart Lane started. Absolute whirlwind. I never expected it to be as successful as it was. It started out a 3-book series, but because the readers loved it, it went to a 5-book series, then a 10-book series, and I
Wow.
think it actually is 14 now. And yeah, it came to an end with an epilogue that's made everybody cry that's read it, which
Yes,
links
because
back
readers actually
to
really become involved with the community, don't they? The Love Hotline
they do.
community.
Everybody, the amount of emails I get, the number of emails that I get asking me, is Love Heart Lane, is Heartcross a real place? Where have I based it on? Can they visit it? Is it like in the village? But it's fictional, it's just in my head.
Incredible, isn't it, that you can actually envisage this full village with all these people in your head and bring them to life. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it is. But obviously we've got a map as well, so the readers can see where everything is in the village.
I'll link
Um,
below actually to your website so people can actually find your map and things like that, more about your books if they don't already know, which I'm sure most of them will already know. Oh God, no, I love the series. I've got one of them actually here in my studio. This is for
oh,
Library and Love Heart Lane. It's
yeah.
just such a gorgeous series. I've really, really loved it. I'm sad to see it go.
Yeah,
But
it's
that
the
was,
first series I was gonna say,
yeah.
it's the first series I've ever written, and I didn't really know how it was gonna pan out, so I managed to make each book a standalone, but if you read it from the beginning, it also linked up, which was, hard within itself to do when you're writing that many
Yeah.
books.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've done series, but the most I've done is 5 in a series. I can't imagine actually writing a series with 15 books. I love reading a series of 15 books because you don't actually want to ever leave. But yeah, that must be really hard to remember all the different people and all their, you know, I don't know, characteristics or whatever. But I
I
suppose
know.
if people become real people, you do actually remember them like
Yeah.
real people, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking last week, so I have a character Bible of Love Heart Lane. So each character has its page with what colour hair they've got, what colour eyes they've got, who they're married to, who the cousins are, what's the job,
Wow.
which is a very valuable piece of information. So you can just flick back when you're on
Oh.
book 14 and you can't remember
You'd
something.
need to, wouldn't you? Because that is an awful lot of information. It's the tiny details, isn't it?
It is the
So,
tiny details.
and when you came here, I took you to see the Puffins because of your next series. So your next series, I believe the first book was a postcard from Puffin Island. So it's a Puffin Island
Yes,
series, and that's
yes.
out on the 30th of September. So I thought while you were over here, it'd be a really good idea to take you to see these the puffins we have. So these puffins, they're 4 meters high, and they're made of willow and steel, and they're up at a place called Plymouth, where if you saw on the news recently, we had like lots of northern lights, beautiful photos and videos out there. That's where people went to actually see the northern lights. So I thought it'd be a brilliant idea to take you there to have a lovely photo, probably with a sunset, sun in between, standing between these two lovely, and it was the worst weather. It was awful. It was a
I was the
howling
best
gale.
way so muddled up, hanging on for dear life.
It was unbelievable. And we have an annual walk here where people walk around the island to raise money for charity. So there's all these people wandering around. Oh, no, I
With me
actually
under the puffins.
hit something under my car. Really couldn't have chosen a worse day for it. Um, so tell us a bit more about your first book with that. So welcome to Puffin. No, a postcard
Postcard from Puffin
from
Island.
Puffin Island. Oh,
So
so
it
excited.
was strange, first of all, because I've obviously lived Love Heart Lane for the last 5 years,
Yeah.
and as I was starting to write a postcard from Puffin Island, I kept bringing the characters from Love Heart Lane into Puffin Island, so maybe in the future they could come and visit or go on holiday.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically it's based around a young girl called Verity Calloway. Now, she thought she had her life mapped out. She lived with her fiance to be until she found out that he'd been cheating on her with his university sweetheart. And then, lo and behold, moved into the street right opposite them.
No. Oh, that's horrendous.
I know. So she decides, I'm going to leave my job, convert my van into a camper van, and off she goes. She's heading for Amsterdam with her friend Ava, who's a best friend. However, just before she goes, she's got an old post box that is attached to the wall of the house, the property, and the new tenants don't want it there. They say it's an eyesore. So as she takes it down, she decides to prise it open to see what's inside and finds posts from 50 years ago
Oh,
and a postcard from Puffin Island that's addressed to a granny with a cryptic message on it. So as she's driving
obvious.
to Amsterdam,
Yeah.
she receives a phone call from her best friend who was meeting her there. She can't make it till a couple of days' time. And as she's already at the ferry port, she hears the tannoy with a ferry that's going to go to Puffin Island. But it's not that simple because Verity has grown up knowing all about Puffin Island, but she thought it was pretend. So her granny used to tell her stories about all the people and the island and all the houses as bedtime stories, but she thought they were all make believe. So now she's got all this information from the past and she wants to discover who was sent this postcard because it's going to open a right can of worms.
I can't wait to read this. Oh, it sounds
So, yeah,
amazing.
she does get there, and I was gonna say she sets the cat amongst the pigeons, but maybe the puffins amongst the cliffs because yeah, so this little island suddenly becomes in turmoil with all the secrets that she uncovers from 50 years ago.
Oh, it sounds wonderful. I cannot wait to read that. I'll actually also I'll include the cover in here. I'll paste it in afterwards. Oh, and you've got a map for Puffin Island as well, haven't you?
Yes, yeah, the map was, created a couple of weeks ago by my I was gonna say youngest daughter, but it's not my youngest, it's my 3rd child. I've got too many
Oh,
children.
she's so
So
talented.
by Ruby. So she'd, sat down and I told her all about the island and all the places and all the names I'd come up with, and she's put the island together.
Oh,
So
what a lovely thing
ha
to do.
I've just been going through the copy edits for, this book, so I've made sure, obviously, that everything's in place, and from
Yeah.
each different places on the island, the view is exactly where it should be and things, so it's all
That's an
come together.
awful lot of planning.
Yeah,
I
it
tend
is.
to be a bit more organic with stuff, so, but that's fantastic. That is such a lot of planning. How
And it's
wonderful.
also, a tidal island, so you can only get on and off the island when the tide turns.
Oh.
So of course, Verity, she goes she's only going for 24 hours because she is off to Amsterdam, but she gets caught in the tide turning, so she gets swept out in a camper van, so she no longer has a van, so of course she's got to stay on the island a little bit
Oh,
longer.
so exciting. Oh, it sounds brilliant, Christy. I
And I
bet
love
you're
the
loving writing this one, though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually wrote this one in 30 days, this book. It just flew off the page.
Wow.
But my favourite 2 words in this book is when she gets stuck in the sea, she has to climb to the top of the camper van, and she shouts at the top of her voice, "Puffing hell."
That is brilliant. Puffin.
But it's a very comical moment.
Yeah. Oh, I really can't wait to read that. That is so exciting. How many will be in this series, or don't you know yet?
just depends. It just
Yeah,
depends whether the readers like it, take to it.
yeah.
I'm currently writing the second book now, which is all about the lighthouse based on Puffin Island. So, of course, we've got some characters from the first,
Yeah.
but again, it's all standalone. So, you know, you can read them from the start or you can just dip in and out, whichever you prefer.
Oh,
But yeah, so this one's I've just planned it out. I'm quarter of a way through. So yeah, I've got 4 weeks to get this one done, dusted in back.
God. So how many books do you write in a year?
I write between 4 and 5, but
Mm.
usually 3 to 4 get published that year, so I'm always a little bit ahead.
Right. Okay. I see.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so
Because I
Puffin
do
Island,
3 a year, but and that's quite a lot. But so you probably write most days like me, I guess.
I write
Yeah.
every day from
Yeah.
9 till half 2, 3 every day.
Yeah. And then you
Um,
teach piano, of course, don't you?
yeah, teach piano from
Clever
half
girl.
3 till half 6 most nights.
Oh, you are clever. Oh,
So
so I suppose getting into this book and it being obviously just coming alive so I shouldn't say easily, but it sort of seemed to come almost whole in a way. Must have taken some of the pain away from leaving your Love Heart Lane series a bit.
it did. It's lovely to get into a new book, a
Yeah.
new setting. I took myself up to Holy Island, which of course is a tidal island, to do some research there and had a walk around, which was an absolute beautiful place.
Really.
I've actually based this book on the coast of Northumberland. So it's a bit, it's the same kind of setting
Yeah.
as Holy Island. I learnt all about the tide times, so when the tides change and why they change. So a lot of research has
Lot of
gone into it.
research, yeah.
I think there's a couple of favourite spots in the book that I like. We've got Betty Rose's tea room, which is a pink thatch cottage, which is
Gorgeous.
absolutely gorgeous. And we've got a sea glass restaurant where you can see all the fish and the wildlife swimming underneath you as you dine. It's just beautiful. It's just all come together really, really well. And
Oh.
I am chuffed with it, to be fair. And I love the cover. I absolutely squealed
Oh,
when
I love the cover, and as I say, I will actually, I will paste that in so that listeners here can actually see the cover. It's a beautiful cover, isn't it? And it's quite different from your other covers, from your other series.
yeah,
Did you
that
have
was done on
input into the
purpose.
cover?
Yeah, oh yes. Took us probably about 4 or 5 attempts at the cover because I wanted something different from the Love Heart Lane series.
Yeah.
And I think we've achieved that. There was lots of illustrations going back into, and usually I go with my gut feeling, and as soon
Yeah.
as I see something, it's either yes or no. And it was no, no.
Oh, no.
I'm
They
not
must have
feeling
been
it.
getting worried.
I'm not feeling it, but I just knew. And then that cover came back. I was just like, that's it. That
Yes.
is it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I've described.
It is a
Uh,
gorgeous, gorgeous cover. Yeah.
I can't wait to see the next one in the series. I
I bet
can't.
you can't, yes. And I think it's clever to sort of differentiate between the two series because so often I find when I love reading a book and series, sometimes the covers are so similar to different series. Did I read that or have I read
Yeah,
it or not? Whereas if they're totally different, then you actually, you can have them sort of well separated, as it were.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're totally different from the Love Heart Lane series. Um, it might be because I've matured a little bit. I feel like these covers are a little bit the more mature than my last
Yeah.
my last
Oh, wow.
covers. They were
And I think
beautiful.
the thing is that well, one thing is obviously just listening to you describe the book, you can hear your passion for it, and your love for it, and your love for the characters. I can't wait to read it. I mean, that comes through in all your books. There's always a hint of sadness. There's always like humor, and it's always a really, really good story. So yeah, you're a very clever author, really. You are.
I can't wait for it to come out, but I'm also nervous because each Love Heart Lane book that did come out, everybody was saying, all the reviews were saying, and we don't know how she does it. Each book's better than the last book. I'm thinking, I can't keep going. I can't keep
They
climbing.
always, every time they come out, they go straight up in the top 100, don't they? Straight into the
Yeah,
high charts. Every single book of yours that comes out, which is
yeah,
fantastic as well.
yeah.
I'm
I
sure it'll
think
be great. I'm sure it'll be wonderful.
it'll just be them first few reviews that trickle through. I'll be
Yeah.
like, oh.
Oh, you really do have to grow a thick skin, don't you, for reviews? They're really like the scary blimmin' things. And when's the
Yeah.
second book out then?
I think that's coming out around the February or March time.
Okay, so
I
not too
usually
long to wait then.
No, I usually have a book out at New Year, but I don't think this one's actually just gonna be ready. I want to make sure it's completely right before
Yeah,
I put it out there,
yeah, yeah.
and that I'm 100% happy with it. With Puffin Island, I just knew that, that book was ready to go. It was
Oh,
sent off, and I was, like, so happy with it.
oh,
Um,
so lovely when that sort of thing happens that, it just comes to you and you feel it straight away. It's real
yeah,
straight away.
but the second one of the series obviously needs to be as good as the first
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
So
I'm
you
sure
kind
you'll
of
do
doubt
it. I'm
yourself
sure
as
you'll
an
do
author,
it.
but yeah,
Because,
yeah, it's good.
yeah, I mean, so Puppy Line, that's how many books will that be?
Puffin Island, I think, well, it just depends because Love Art Lane was 3, then 5, then 10. Um, it's
But I
up
mean,
to me.
how many books have you written all in all? Because you wrote books before the Love Heart Lane series as
Oh,
well, didn't you?
yeah, I think it's 23rd book. It's my
Wow.
23rd book, yeah.
And how long
Yeah.
have you? When did the first one come out?
10 years ago, 10
Oh
years ago
yes, of
last
course. I
week.
saw on your Facebook
Yeah,
page. Yeah, your book's been
so
out for
that
years.
yeah, the first one I self-published, and then it just went straight into the Amazon charts. It stayed in the humour Amazon charts for over 12 months at number 1. It never moved. It got to number 1 on Kindle, and then, yeah, I just signed to a publisher, and then I think I wrote 5 books for them, and then I moved to Charlotte at HarperCollins.
Yes, because
At
we're
War
both, of course, published by Charlotte
Yeah,
HarperCollins. Yeah, we're very lucky having her, I think.
we are, we are. So, yeah, 23rd book now, which I didn't think I was ever gonna write another one after my
I know. I
first
think
book.
when you write that first one, it's like trying to finish it is like. I mean, writing one book is a big deal, and
Mm,
finishing one, but that's a lot of words. Um, and then yeah, just carrying on. I don't know
yeah.
if we're glutton for punishment or just adore what I do. I think we're lucky. We've got the best job in the world. I mean, it's I've never felt like oh, I have to go and work because this isn't
No,
like
it's
it
not,
is work.
no.
It's hard work, but it's not like work. So
Yeah.
not compared to what I used to do and really bad at. I worked in finance for years and I can't see numbers right or anything. So how I actually worked in finance, I was not very good. Never
I
got
think
promoted or anything. I was rubbish, but it paid the bill.
it's coming up with the different stories, isn't it, as
Yeah.
well? Everybody asks, "How do you come up with the stories? How do you come up with names?" I think
Names
name
I find really difficult.
it is after you've written so many books, and of course, you've
Yeah.
got the sub characters
Yeah.
and people, and the main name of the Lighthouse book that I'm writing now, I got the name off a gravestone
Oh wow.
at Holy Island.
Oh, how fantastic.
I
So
just saw
well
the name,
worth a
I was
visit for
like,
lots of reasons.
yeah, I was like, that name." So obviously it's got me wondering about the name on the gravestone and all the history of that person. Um, but the name was just amazing. So I've pinched it. I'm not sure I'm allowed to do that, but I have.
I think you can. I think people use things like that. She says. I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can. No, I find names really quite difficult. I remember with one character, I actually called him Finn. I love the name Finn. It took me like 3 days to come up with this. I can't remember his surname was Finn. And then as I was writing, I realized he was a marine biologist, and it's like, hang on, I can't have a marine biologist called Finn. That's just big much. So I had to think of something else again. He then was going through, but yeah, and I thought, oh no, it's really hard,
Call
isn't
him
it?
Flynn instead of
I should
Finn.
have called him. My sister's horse is called Flynn. I could. It's still a good name. Yeah. Oh gosh, that's hysterical. So, are you writing today? Have you done your writing for today?
I'm actually on copy edits today. I know it's
Oh,
Sunday,
right. Yeah.
but I've got some copy edits that need to go back, and then I'll be writing the acknowledgements. I need to still
Yeah.
do them and get them in ready for September,
They're quite
which I was
difficult, aren't they?
finding that hard.
Yeah, I find those so hard to write. I really
Ye
do.
It should be easy. It's only a
It should.
page.
It should. But it's terrifying that you might forget somebody. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
always, I make notes sort of as I have like different editors for different things or different people who've helped me with different things. And I think, oh, I hope I haven't forgotten anyone. But yeah, no, it's worrying, man. But but it's
Yeah.
always nice. I love seeing I love reading acknowledgements in a book as well, actually. I think
Yeah.
some are really well done. Mine are not well done. They're just like saying thank you very much.
I won't copy yours then.
Don't copy mine. They're rubbish. I try to be humorous, then I read it again and think, does that sound really odd? Yes, I think that sounds odd. So maybe it doesn't translate across or something. Shame. Oh, right. Well, I think our time is running low, Christie. Thank you
Okay.
so much for joining
Oh,
me.
thank you for having me.
Oh, and I can't wait to read your book. It sounds fantastic. A Postcard from Puffin Island. Wonderful.
We
Well,
need
thank you
to we
very
need
much.
to I'm gonna get some little postcards.
You
I'm gonna put
must.
postcard from Puffin
Yes.
Island. We'll
Oh, what
send
a
them out to
brilliant
readers.
idea. Yes, that's oh, what a perfect idea. Oh, I love clever things like that. Very clever lady. Thanks very much, Christie. That is really,
Oh,
really
thank
cool.
you.
And I will put this up today or tomorrow, and I will post in your cover as well because it's such a beautiful cover. So thank you very
Thanks.
much, and thank you everybody for joining us. If you've subscribed before, thank you very much. If not, please click the red little box below saying subscribe, and so you'll get an alert each time I put up another video. Thank you very much.